message I'd like you to take away from Velocity today. Now is the time to build. Don't wait until Velocity comes. Now is the pre-marketing opportunity. One thing we all know, because we've all participated in a lot of new market openings, is that the opportunity in this business occurs before something happens, right? Once it happens, everyone knows about it.
Jonathan, we're right here.
Opportunity happens before. So we want you to take out of this message and these workshops, not the message that I need to wait for 9 months or 12 months to start building this business. We want you focusing right now, right here, focusing your teams on helping them to understand the exciting things that are coming. The future is brighter and brighter and brighter, okay? So we want you to understand and to see this vision, communicate with your organizations. Don't wait. What I'd also like to just, because I had a few comments, Charlene did a great job of mentioning the China business is a separate and distinct business. It's a separate and distinct business. It is not the same business as our global business. Many of the principles we talk about in Velocity, they're the same principles: share, build, and lead. But how we do it in China will be applied differently. The same principles, but applied differently. Okay? So I want to be clear on that. Our next section now is all on grow with social. And there are several key points I just want to reiterate here because I want the right mindset to come. We are talking now about platforms. We're talking about the accelerator to our business. Business model is going to be a significant evolution of Nu Skin Enterprises. This platform conversation is what's unique about it, is it's about the world in which we live. So while Nu Skin can talk about the elements of what we can do to support it, this conversation is really about the world in which you're already living. Each of you are already connected online. You are already socially active. And so this conversation is about how do you leverage what you already do and apply it to your business. This is not a different business model. Rather, it's a different business environment. Does that make sense? Now, I mentioned the other day that social selling is the 4th largest economy in the world. Just below Japan, US, China, Japan, social. That's how big this opportunity is. The compounded annual growth rate of social was 26% last year. So if you do your quick math, it's going to become the 3rd largest economy within the next year, and it will become the 2nd largest economy within 4 years. That's how fast social is growing. And the reason I talk about it as an economy is because you are all socially connected on a borderless basis. Is that right? The people you are connected to today are from countries around the world. This is, in many respects, a borderless business environment. So how do we do business? How does any business do business in a borderless business environment? We have spent a lot of time and effort understanding this environment. We look at this very much, social very much, as a new market opportunity. You have all participated in these opportunities. Nu Skin is in 50 countries around the world. But if you compare social to any new market, the number of people socially connected is twice as large, nearly twice as large, as the largest country in the world. That's how big social is. And they're across multiple platforms. Globally, it's not the same platform. It's not, everyone's not on Facebook, although Facebook is the largest. WeChat in China is the predominant platform and is nearly as big as Facebook. In Korea, it's KakaoTalk. Japan, it's Line. Every one of these countries have unique platforms. WhatsApp, Snapchat, Twitter, all of these platforms are social. So what I want to be clear on here, you guys, is when we talk social, we are not talking about technology platforms. We are not talking about Facebook or WeChat or Line or Kakao Talk or WhatsApp. We're talking principles, because these principles apply across every single platform out there. Does that make sense? So again, as leaders, we're not down here, we're up here. Our vision is up here. How do we apply social principles to enable us to accelerate the growth of our business? Does that make sense? So there's one thing I want to just share with you, and this is a quote from a book. There's an author, Charles Duhigg, and I love this quote because it so adequately summarizes the approach to social. He says in this quote, essentially, that the creation process is about taking proven ideas and combining them in new ways to spark creative successes. How does that apply to social? As I said earlier, direct selling was the original social selling model, right? Direct selling is all about the person-to-person connection that Sandy talked about, applied technologically to a broader group of people to enable a commercial transaction through relationships. Now, everything I just said there is directly applicable to direct selling as well as to social selling. These same principles that have built our business to where it is today will help us accelerate and leapfrog companies that are not socially compatible businesses. Direct selling is a socially compatible business. So all we're doing now is we're taking proven processes that we've already proven to build a $2.2 billion enterprise in 50 countries, and we're now leveraging social to multiply, to accelerate that growth. Does that make sense? Now that is a huge competitive advantage over other companies that have to learn how to be social in the first place, that have to learn how to do the one-to-one personal transaction. We already know that. That's our DNA. That's in our blood, right? So now it's about just applying that. Does that make sense? So as you put those two worlds together, now you can see that all of a sudden Truman's vision of $10 billion is actually fairly small in what we actually can do and can become. Does that make sense? So, to help us through this process, I think my introduction of our next guest will be appropriate. Grow with Social, we've got someone here. Many of you already know Kathy Schultz, but for those of you who don't know Kathy has been with the company for well over 20 years, but she's only 29 years old, so I don't know the math on this. But Kathy has been evangelizing social for many, many years. And when I say many, many years, I mean since the beginning. She's been evangelizing within the company. She originally was working with the U.S. marketplace. Her focus was on that business and driving it. Well, about a year ago, I begged Tyler to please give us Kathy, because what was going on, we saw that this was impacting everyone. And we had, as a company, we had to bring together a global organization to help us learn and adapt ourselves to be the dominant social selling business, the dominant business opportunity platform company in the world. So Kathy has taken on this new role of global distributor engagement, and her role is to work with all of our markets around the world to help us learn and grow together in this model and this best practices, based on best practices that you are all pioneering. And the beautiful thing about social is that it's evolving every single day. New success stories are occurring every single day. In fact, 2 of our Team Elite Platinums are in qualification right now entirely due to social. Entirely due to social. That's the start. This thing just began, and we already have 2 of our fastest growing leaders in the company through social. So this is blowing up right now. So let's welcome up Kathy Schultz. Come on, Kathy. Come on.
quickly here. We're going to talk really quickly about what is social selling, and then I'm going to bring an amazing panel up, and most of my time is going to be spent with the panel because there's no better way to learn than from the leadership of this company. So, quickly, what is social selling? What makes it a little bit different? You guys have heard all the ways that direct selling and social is the same, but it does have a few slight differences that we've watched, so we're going to talk about that. So, social selling starts with the product. It's all about posting your personal experiences with the products. It's all about being a product of the product and then sharing your experiences with the product. So, you see a couple of examples. Sometimes people take pictures. Now, not every market can do before and afters. That's okay. That's all right. Take a picture of you using the product. Just take a beautiful selfie, and when someone says, "What are you using?" they're going to say, be a product of the product and share that you're a product of the product. Obviously, if you can show results like this, it's going to draw attention. But post about the products and use the products. The next thing that's different, this is what's different, and it's interesting. I've been talking about the social cycle for a while, and then when Sandy was talking this morning about how the company started, I thought, oh my goodness, that's what we're telling all of you guys to do. Talk about the products, sell the products, find out who your customers are first, before you invest, before you put money out there. It's a no-risk opportunity with this social selling because you're going to go post and find out who wants to buy the products and sell those products even before you invest your money into buying the products. That's an incredible change that we haven't done before. So you find out who wants it, you collect their money, and then you buy the products. It's no risk. This is what is making a big difference here with people starting, is they don't have to have any upfront money, and they're getting money right in their pockets with retail profit. So then, and people, I should point this out, you don't talk about the price, you don't talk about anything out front, you do all of it behind the scenes, one-to-one. Always one-to-one when you're selling products. Remember that, that's key, that's important. And then make sure that you're messaging them and following up and talking to them about those products because that personal relationship is very important. So then you've sold the products. Now you know I need 20 tubes of toothpaste. I need 15 lip gloss. Whatever it is that you need, you now have that, and you're going to come and you just order it from the company. Now, we don't have a 6 to 8 week waiting period, thank goodness. You know that as the company, we're going to provide you with those products as quickly as we can. The only bad part about social is it tends to take off like wildfire, and occasionally we stock out for a day or two because we can't believe how fast it can take off with a product. It's not like us preparing and you guys saying, I think I'm going to need this much inventory or that much inventory. Somebody will post and then it gets shared and shared and shared, and it goes fast. And that is what we want to keep happening, and we're going to do everything we can as the company to make sure that we have products there for you. So once they've bought the products, then you ship them out. If you use the company systems, we'll ship them out. A lot of people are buying them and then doing this personally because I don't know if you guys ever look at your social group or not, but most of the people that I engage with in social, not most, but a good portion of the people that I talk to the most actually live pretty close to me. And I'm having lots of relationships with people that I go to the gym with, people that are in my neighborhood, all of these things. That's still social, and they're going to see things. And so people will hand deliver and hand package these, or just throw them in the post and have them. The fun part about shipping these products out, as you can see on this, are the personal notes and the personal brands that people are adding to this. Rather than your first customers having an experience with Nu Skin, the company, they're having an experience with the distributor. And that is direct selling right there. There's nothing more powerful than getting that first relationship between you and your customer, and Nu Skin being that brand that is supporting your relationship with them. And then, as everything is so important, follow up. You have to continue those relationships and everything that's happening. The thing I love about social is this is how we restart the cycle of posting and continuing to go. People are congratulating your teams. Oh, what do you do? People are giving sample posts in their training groups and teaching their teams exactly how to be successful in social. And that's one of the things for all of you leaders in this room. understanding how to effectively train your teams to have success. Because you can post all the time, but if you're not posting right, and if you're not doing it in the way that engages people and encourages them to want to buy the products, and they don't have a good experience, that's not what we want. We want our leaders to understand how all of this works so that you can train your teams and help them be successful. Help them get that, if it's $100 or if they're trying for the great wealth, help them with what they need to do, because as leaders, that's what's most important, is teaching them how to do it right. And we see this on social in these groups. There's recruiting posts that go out constantly. What did you buy with the first retail profit that you made? How did you do this? How are you going to get other people to join your team? Because in the end, it's about growing your team. It's not just about selling products. This is just a faster way to get more people into the funnel and to bring them in. So we want to make sure that you're recruiting and teaching people how easy it is to do business in social. Very quick, basic overview of social, because I want to spend the majority of our time today with the panel. So, here's a fun one too, but I always forget that I have one more on here about using the success trips. There's nothing more exciting than travel. And everybody wants to see the pictures you guys are sharing from this trip, right? So you gotta share those, and that is recruiting and social. So the biggest difference that we talked about is that social is always leading with the products. Recruiting and opportunity is all built in and all a part of it, but leading with the products is key. And it needs to be a product that someone can purchase quickly and easily, and that everybody wants and needs, and you don't have to explain. But leading with the products is so important. Now, I want you guys to learn from some of our best. So I am going to invite up to the stage Lara, Emma, Vito, and Fong to please come up here. And Nick, will you come up as well? Thanks. You guys, give them a welcome. They're going to come on stage. We're excited. We love having them here. Don't you love the picture we take to Lara with the gorgeous teeth? That's from age 24. All right, so you guys might have to jump up on these stools. They're a little bit high. Sorry. Climb on up. So, should we just keep their videos playing over and over? Lara, good morning. So we're going to start talking about how you build and recruit in social. So Lara, first question is for you. How do you organize your team trainings on social? You have amazing team trainings. So as a leader, how do you do that?
We believe strongly in the closed groups because it creates an opportunity to train on specific topics that are unique, because at the end of the day, I think a lot of the different groups have different personalities and they're dealing with different things at different times, so it allows you to create that environment where you can really support what your distributors need. And then what we've always done is we've just broken it up into bite-sized pieces of things that people can embrace, learn what to do, things as simple as the whitening toothpaste post, the details that will allow them to immediately start the business and know that within 24 to 48 hours at the most, they can be in action, right? And then, and so in the training groups, we're able to provide that. We're also able to, what I love about the training, and everything I know is all about fast speed and velocity, there's nothing faster than being able to say to somebody, we're doing a live Facebook training on this topic or that topic, and then people can plug in from anywhere in the world, and even if they can't watch it live, they can always go back and watch it on replay. So we've just taken all of our training on all the different topics, all the different aspects of what it is that you want to do in social, and then it lives in that training group.
And you guys repeat the same topics and advice often, because social moves so fast. So it's not like you just have to create 5 trainings and put them out there, right?
You're right.
You're consistently talking about certain things.
We have certain topics that revolve around posting in concept and retail in concept. How do you sell more? How do you upsell, right? I mean, so much of it is we're all talking about the toothpaste, but at the end of the day, our business is so much more than just toothpaste. So training on how do you take somebody from learning about the toothpaste and then helping them with posting on the other products, and then obviously it also all leads back to the recruiting for the business.
And when to approach them, and I know that you still take your social people and help them recruit people and support them and do phone calls. It's not like everything is just done through social with your team.
No,
it's just the starting point.
Right, and I know Fong is going to be talking a little bit more about how social goes. We take online and offline, but I'm a big believer that what we are doing with social is really no different than anything we have done before. It's just, it's like what Brian, I mean everybody, Sandy said it. It's all about just using the new technology, the new ways, and it helps it go so much faster. And the nice thing about the recruiting standpoint, especially because what we're seeing is a new person will come out, they'll put up a post, and maybe they'll get 30 or 40, sales, because all of a sudden you start to see the comments. But let's just say in the offline way, we might not have seen that. But right now we're seeing everything right in front of our face. I can see a new person put up the post. If all of a sudden they get 30, 40, 50, comments, and then we all say, oh my God, the post is blowing up. That becomes your first obvious sign that this is a person who's a leader and an influencer. So no different than if I would have gone to your meeting and I showed up at your meeting and you had a house full of people. My visual for that online is based on the comments, and then taking that person, and obviously a lot of times we're doing these referral posts where a friend is posting for you, but it's the same idea. It's recruiting through people who are having that experience with the product, they're sharing the product, but then it's like, OMG, you should be doing the business because you're an influencer.
Yeah.
And
you can see it all, like you said. So you know the direction to coach them in because you're watching what's going on with it and how much they follow up and what they're doing and what their energy level is. I love that. So someone brings in these 30 to 40 new customers. What's your advice on how you transition customers into business partners?
So I consider myself a private detective, right? And so what I'll do is...
Stalker.
Right. A what?
Stalker?
Or, yeah, AKA a stalker. So what I'll do is, a lot of times you'll do a referral post for someone, or someone puts up the referral post for you, and you're doing the follow-up with those customers. And I do go on to every one of their pages. Okay, that's where the stalking comes in. It's
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. And I'll start looking at them, and I'll actually write it down. I'll say, ooh, Lisa has 400 friends. This one has 700 friends. This one has 1,500 friends. This one has 20 friends. We're going to leave them over to the side. We'll get to them later. But I go through it, and then what I do is I get a feeling for the people, and then I'll call my friend who put up the post, and I'll say, Ruth, tell me a little bit more about Lisa. She's got 700 friends. She looks like she has a few small kids. Tell me about her. So where in the offline way, when I used to build business, I would say to somebody, let's talk about your top 25 and tell me about who would make your top 25 people. Who are the most influential people you know, the people who are networkers, the people that if they do something, others are going to follow. So now those same feeling or those types of questions are more, tell me more about Lisa because I see she has 700 friends, or tell me more about this person because I see they have 1,500 friends. And then we talk a little bit about it, and I say, that person would be really good for the business. How well do you know them, and what can we do to get in contact with them? And then obviously if they bought the product, then it's much easier because now I feel I have an automatic, permission to say, hey, how are you enjoying the product? And do you do anything on social media? Are you on social media? How would you like to learn about how to capitalize on the social media trend? And it's a very easy transition from product to business.
I love that. Anything to add before we move to best practices from any of you? No? Laura's got it. All right. So I lost our screen here for our next questions. But that's all right. We're going to go with best practices for, you're going to kill me if I can't get our screen back up, aren't you? No, you're not. Best practices, Emma. So tell me your best practices for talking about and leading with the product and social.
So, for me, when I first started with this business, I only had about 250 Facebook friends and about 100 followers on Instagram. So I probably wouldn't have been looked at as a social
You would have been I'll get to Emma later.
But I think, like with anything, consistency is absolutely key, and that is one of the best practices on social. So on Facebook, 3 good, strong posts a day. On Instagram and Twitter and some other platforms, you can post a lot more, up to around 15 times a day without being annoying to your friends and family. I always use photos with a post because photos draw the eye, a picture speaks 1,000 words, so I'll always post with a photo because I find it so powerful, and I'll always put some capital letter wording in as well, again to draw the eye in. It's really important. And quite often when people start this business, they say, shall I open up a completely separate group to start advertising my products? And I'll always say, yes, you can do, but you have to understand that that might take a little bit longer for your business to grow because it takes longer to get engagement in our closed groups. So always start on your personal pages because they're the people that are your friends and family. They're meant to be the people that trust you, know that you won't be involved in anything dodgy. I don't know if that will translate well. So always start on your personal pages. There's also some other really key best practices to stick to in terms of timings. So for us in the UK, between 7 and 9 a.m. lunchtime and between 6 and 9 in the evening is the best time to post to get maximum engagement. It might be different for the different regions, but you have to work out what works for you, and that's another key best practice I find is monitoring as well what we do. So if something's not working for you, then you have to change it and find out what will work, because not everything will be the same for everybody. Best practices in terms of products. Be a product of a product. Yes, there's loads of before and after pictures that we can use from other people, and that's great, and we're seeing lots of success with that. But I always find that the most engagement you will get is if you use your own before and after picture. I know that Perry Walker, our new team lead from the UK, she posted initially one of her friends before and after pictures, and she didn't really get a lot from it. And then she waited a week later and did her own before and after pictures that she used from the toothpaste, and I think she sold like 70 tubes or something. So there was a lot more engagement on her post because people knew they were her team.
Even if the results aren't as amazing, if it's your own personal results and your own personal story, it's always going to do better to your group. Definitely. So you started with a small following. How do you increase followers in social? What's some great suggestions for how to increase followers if somebody doesn't have a big following at the beginning? And just to keep your market fresh, right? It's really important that you're always increasing your followers.
Yeah, so as I said, consistency, but for me, I built a lot of my business through attraction marketing. So when I first joined, I would just post pictures wherever I was. So wherever I could do this business, I'll post a picture of people in the 9 to 5 when they're stuck in the office and they're scrolling on social media, which they are at their desks, and they see you out doing meetings in the sunshine or with friends or able to have lunch. That's attractive to people. People want to know what you're doing, and that's how I've drawn in lots more followers. If I'm somewhere and I can hold a business briefing and I've got one of my children asleep in the pram next to me, that is attractive to a lot of people. How can you build a business with a family being out and about, whereas the majority of people are stuck behind a desk? So it's about wherever you are doing your business, make sure you're documenting it, because you are your biggest advert, and if you're not marketing yourself, nobody else will. So I found that being really consistent was a great way to attract new followers. And also wherever I am, and I'm walking and talking, because as Laura said, this isn't just about social media, it's doing the other face-to-face stuff as well. Wherever I am and I meet new people, I will always say, oh, are you on Facebook or you're on Instagram? Let's connect. And people are really open to connecting on social media. It's like a modern day business card swapping, like get connected on social media instead. And it's kind of like a reverse follow-up. So when we're doing our face-to-face and we're following and sending sending messages. Actually, a lot of these people are now watching us, so it's kind of like a reverse follow-up. They're watching what we're doing without us keep having to go back to them.
And so much more powerful than a business card because they're watching you and you have that true connection both ways. And that's huge is anytime you meet somebody new is to jump on and follow them. I love that. You talked a little bit about specific daily actions, how many times you post with different things. And I know when you say, you post 15 times a day, you're not posting like a product on all those 15. You're posting who you are and what you do, and the products are part of that, and the opportunity is part of that, right? So do you have like things that you tell people when they very first start how to include new skin into their posting?
Yeah, so I always say that on Facebook, at least 3 good, strong posts a day, but it needs to be a mix of products, business, and personal, because we don't want our pages to suddenly turn into selling pages. That's not attraction marketing. So it needs to be a nice mixture, but I know I've spoken a lot on best practices on social media. There's lots of YouTube videos and things that we've done before. But for me as well, part of the best practices that we need to be teaching our groups are, because things can move so fast on social, and if you're seeing some volume coming through, we need to connect down with those people. So they'll come in maybe through the toothpaste or another product, they'll maybe sell, and they might not even be aware that there's a bigger picture of this. There's a bigger opportunity with so much more than selling toothpaste. And so we need to be connecting down, and that is one of my daily habits, is to be connecting down with people in my group. If there's volume going through, introducing myself as part of their support system and saying, are you aware of our business opportunity? Quite often people will say, no, I'm just selling products. And that's great. If people want to sell the products, that's amazing. They need to realise that they're going to fall in the customer group, the distributor group, or being a business partner. But we need to connect down to make people aware of the business. And then once people are aware of the business, there's so much more to it. We need to be teaching how to do the demos of a galvanic spa so people can upgrade to those higher ticket price items. We need to be teaching how to do punch parties, teaching how to do online business presentations, teaching how to set up meetings in your local area, because that is how leadership develops. So I find that is a really key best practice taking away off of the social media.
Yeah, and spending time every day, like you said, building, not just out there posting. Thank you, Emma. Okay, Vito, we're going to go down to you on how attracting millennials. So, how do you spot good candidates for social selling?
Bueno, buenos días a todos. Estoy feliz de compartir, ¿no?, con cada uno de ustedes. Y con respecto a tu pregunta,
Good morning, it's great to be able to share this morning with all of you.
con respecto a la pregunta, bueno, yo soy mamá de 3 y 2, son muy jóvenes, son millennials. Tengo 2 hijos muy jóvenes de 3
I have 2 young children,
y empecé a observarlos un poco más. Porque quería ver cómo captar la atención de mis propios hijos
I wanted to see how to capture the attention of my own young children
y entrar en la dinámica de ellos
and enter into their own dynamic, their own world,
y no enojarme porque estaban todo el tiempo conectados.
and not get so upset because they were always online on social media.
Entonces empecé a entender que lo que les gusta es eso, es estar conectados, es estar sociabilizando todo el tiempo a través de las redes.
And I learned that that's just what they like to do. They like to be social, they like to be connected, that's their world.
Y bueno, después de 6 años no solo empecé a contactar a mis amigas o a personas de mi edad, sino a sus hijos.
And after 6 years, I not only started to connect with my own friends via social media, but also with their children, with their families.
Y a los amigos de sus hijos y a los amigos de mis hijos.
And with the friends of their children and the children's friends all getting connected through social media.
Y la manera de llamarle la atención a ellos 100% fue nuestra propuesta del ciclo de viajes.
And the way that we got them to get attracted to what we were doing was through our success group cycles.
Sí. Y obviamente el vehículo son las redes sociales y la venta por internet. Para que ellos puedan crecer en el negocio.
And to show them through those platforms the way that they can then participate in what they were participating in.
La responsabilidad más grande que tenemos como equipo
The biggest responsibility that we have as a team
es que va a haber cada vez más volumen a través de las redes,
is that there's going to be more volume coming through this channel,
pero hay que tener paciencia en poder duplicar nuestros valores como familia Nunkin. Ese es el tiempo que más me lleva hoy.
but for that reason, because of the velocity, it's so important to transmit the values of this company, which is increasingly difficult with so many people coming into the business.
Porque nuestra misión, al margen del volumen, es retenerlos.
Because our mission not only is to bring them in, but to retain them.
That's perfect. And what are the main platforms that you like and that you've chosen, and why did you choose those?
Bueno, lo mejor de las plataformas es que cada uno elige la que más cómodo se siente.
Well, the most important thing is that every single person chooses the platform they feel most comfortable with.
No me tengo que preocupar por el contenido porque lo crean ellos.
I don't need to create the material because they create it. It's user-generated content.
Son mucho más dinámicos, les gusta mostrar todo de manera personalizada.
They're much more dynamic and they can show this in a very personalized way.
Nuestras capacitaciones son virtuales,
Our trainings are virtual.
una vez por semana igual. Obviamente hay presentación, pero es mucho más corta, más dinámica. Sí.
And then also we still have a weekly meeting that is in person-to-person meeting, still weekly.
Y la capacitación mensual, la capacitación grande, también es mucho más dinámica. Todos los powers son con movimiento.
The weekly meetings are a little bit shorter. We also have monthly meetings, but with a different dynamic, and a little more shorter to cater to the limited attention span of the young people.
Y después siempre expo.
And then always an expo of the product to show off the products.
Y a través de esa, cada uno en Instagram es donde venden, en Facebook es donde se capacitan y por grupos de difusión de WhatsApp es donde se conectan para comprar.
And obviously they're showing off the product through Facebook, through Instagram, and then they have their groups on WhatsApp, which is basically how they're all connecting them to these events and getting them to these events.
Perfect. Thank you. Oh, I missed the slide. Somewhere in here. Hold on. Let me get this. All right, online, offline mindset. There we go. So, what products do you feel for you work the best for social selling?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you to the company for your generous support and invitation. For myself, I'm sure we've all heard about the sales achievements of our new social seller superstars. And I think they deserve great round of applause because I feel they've opened up new doors to many, many new people all around the world and leading them to our opportunity. And of course, most of the success stories we've heard so far revolve around small, affordable, consumable products. So the 8024 toothpaste, the glacial marine mud, and the Sion roll-on in Southeast Asian market. So I think the first generalization we can do is that those are the most effective product for social selling because we actually call them funnel products. So if you imagine a funnel, how they help us open up the mouth of the funnel as wide as possible. So we attract the most people to our product range, and then gradually we would then have more people to convert into buying customers, then we have more people to convert into loyal customers, then we have more people to convert into business builders potentially in the future. But to me, marketing and business is all about positioning. So when we think about products that can reach the most customers, that's only the buyer side. We still have the market and the seller side. So we'll have to look at the market. The beauty market in Vietnam will be different from the beauty market in Korea. It will be different from the beauty market in North America. So whatever is on trend, I think that Muslim has to offer will also be a contender for us for social selling. Finally, most importantly, on the seller side, I think it's about finding social selling, to my opinion, is not about finding the one product that can help your business explode, even though it can happen and it can happen. But to me, it's about finding the product that you have the most transformational results with, that you can find the most inspirations from, and then that will take you far and wide through your choice of social media platforms.
And I love that. And again, it's what product you use the most and have the best results with, and then sharing that. And that's what makes it authentic and real and personal, which I love. So how do you think that social sellers are different than traditional network marketers? And similarities as well, but like where there are some different mindsets, or how it's a little bit different with the two.
Thank you, Katie. So I do think that social sellers and traditional network marketers are different, but it's not really because they are different people with different needs or wants. You know, at the end of the day, I think we talked about the new trends and changes of the gig economy. But at the end of the day, as Ryan has mentioned, it's all about flexibility, freedom, and quality. And those are the pursuits in life that I think will never change with generations or technologies. But to me, social selling is actually breaking down our traditional sponsoring process into smaller steps. And social selling, to me, is the first step. Because traditionally, we would need to convert someone who is MLM doubtful into someone who is MLM loving. Or we need to convert an engineer, a teacher, an athlete into an MLM professional before they can succeed and become a leader in this business. Nowadays, I feel the barriers are removed. Someone can come in and can have the business model of new skill proven to them immediately. And we have a lot of demos for our products, and I feel social selling is the demo for our business opportunity. Because they can see that the product works, people want them, they make a premium, buying wholesale, selling retail, and as soon as they succeed in social selling, they'll start asking, what else can I get from this opportunity? And that's when we show them how Nu Skin is a solid infrastructure to help individuals foster in the social media platform. So I think they're only different in the sense that they need to hear a different story in order to join us. Then they need to receive a different kind of support in order to earn the initial supplemental income they need. Then finally, they need a different kind of reward, which the company is already doing and anticipating with the new business model. So I don't think there's a big difference, but we just need to learn a new language to speak to the millennials who are seeking life on their own terms.
And you don't have them sitting there in front of you for a period of time, right? They're seeing this on a device, on their phone, and so you've got to capture their attention through attraction marketing, and you've got to continually show that progression through your own story, right? Because you can't sit down and tell them your whole story and really convince them. So it's that delicate balance of how you share that, and you know, Vito talked about the success tricks and these other things. And as you're sharing all of that, people will understand your story and get that, and you're sharing it in bite-sized pieces. You don't have that ability to come and tell your story everyone in here has a powerful story about why they started Nu Skin, what they've done with Nu Skin, and how it happens. How do you weave that through your story and social, and how do you continue sharing what your why is and why you love doing this business? And it's so powerful and social because you're shouting it from the rooftops basically to everyone, and I love that. Okay. Parting advice. Remember, our audience here is leaders and team elites, so it's not about how to get started in the business. But if you could leave everyone here with just one little piece of advice for our leaders and our team elites, what would that be? I'm just throwing this on you guys. I can see Emma like, you didn't tell me this question before. That's okay, you got this. Laura will go first. So your parting advice to this group of people, and then we're all going to go enjoy Barcelona.
So I just want to, I guess, remind everybody that if you're feeling like social's overwhelming to you and you're not necessarily like a social influencer, which actually Emma shared, you just go out and find them. And it's always been the same thing. It's like if you don't have a lot of time, you find someone who has a lot of time. It's the same thing. It's very easy to find social influencers. They typically have their head down on the phone and they're looking at their mobile device. So last night or 2 nights ago, we were coming down the elevator from the 26th floor on the W, and there were young girls, and they were sitting there, and one of them had their phone out. I figured I had 26 floors to recruit her. And as we were going down, I was like, where are you from? And she said, the UK. I said, oh my gosh, my business is booming in the UK. I said, I see you're on social media. Are you making money on social media? And she said, no. And I said, oh my gosh, we have to talk. Within that one moment, I said, show me where you are on Facebook. I gave her my cell phone, she looked herself up, I sent her a friend request, she accepted my friend request. I'm telling you, by the time I got to the lobby, she must have inspected me though in that 1 second, right? Like if she came to my page and all she saw were product sales and teeth, and she might not have wanted to be my friend, but she saw lifestyle, she saw a moment of me, she accepted it. So, and I immediately invited her into a little group that has a small, short presentation. That's all we do. It's just the speed, it's the velocity. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by it, find someone that you think will do great in it, and that's going to be the best way to learn it.
And make sure your profile tells who you really are,
Yes.
because people are
They
going to
look at
decide
that.
if they like you based
In 1
on
minute, they
on what
scroll.
they see, like you said, yeah, for sure. Emma?
I would say that my biggest bit of advice is to lead by example. So if you are active on social media and you're recruiting a lot on social media, then you have to stay really active as well. So those reposts, personal, business, product, because your group will not know what they're doing if you're not at the forefront of it leading the way. And I think that's really, really key. Quite often we see some people have some success and then they fall off social media a little bit, but their groups then don't know what they're doing. So you have to stay at the forefront and lead by example.
I love that. Leading by example is the best way to do. And you guys are the best examples. There's no better examples of this business than our leaders here. Parting advice for everyone.
Yes, thank you. For me, I believe that our principles are the same. Our sponsoring message is the same. We're all still looking for the same people, people with aspirations in life, with hard work and good values. Nothing has changed. The only new message that we need to add into our sponsoring message is that nowadays you will have global and exponential growth online. And if you find the right people and you tell them the right message, they will take their own path ahead. They will find their own ways to navigate through the combination of LinkedIn and social media.
Perfect. Thank you. Ito, parting advice.
Bueno, mi mensaje es que si queremos a futuro tener líderes cada vez más jóvenes y conectados en nuestra familia Nuskin,
In the future, we want to have, younger leaders and to continue connected with our Nuskin business.
hay que escucharlos, hay que escuchar a los jóvenes
You have to listen to them. You have to listen to them.
diagramar con ellos, soñar con ellos, tienen ideas maravillosas, muy grandes,
Plan with them, meet with them, listen to them.
contenerlos. Lo que hay que hacer.
You just listen to them.
I think there might have been more to that, but we're going to go with just listen to them at this point. So, can you guys help me thank the panel for everything they've done?